First question is, a lot of guys on your team growing beards. Are you going to follow suit?
I can't even grow a beard. I can't even get a full one in. So I just try to stay clean shaven.
Coach, I'm on the road for the first conference game, and you talked afterward that you expect to win games. How's that changed? Is that filtered on down to your team, and why?
I think obviously first road game will be hopefully a better result than the last one. But we're going to do a lot of similar things that we did on the first one. We tweaked a couple things there, but this team is very unique in the fact that last time we were over there, they got after us pretty good. They came over here last year and stole one. Got after us pretty good there again. So I expect them. They got a bunch of seniors playing to be a confident team that they can beat Youngstown State. So Coach Allen, his resume speaks for itself. I saw where he was 5-time Coach of the Year. What he did at Northern Iowa was unbelievable. I think he had 75 wins in 8 years. He has a track record of beating teams that are ranked. So I think we're going to be in for another ball game, and we're going to have to step up and be ready for that because they're a good football team.
What has been the biggest improvement over the last month, you think, on any defense, offense, special teams, or whatever?
I would probably say our team chemistry thus far has continued to get better and better. At the beginning of the year, I'd probably say 90% we're in. I'd say we're now at 100%. At least I feel that way. And these kids are excited and they're hungry. This program's important to them. They've worked hard. I think when you work hard and you've invested a lot, you're willing to put it on the line every day. And I think they're having some fun doing it. And I think they realize that if we do things right, we have a chance to do something special.
You said the other day you went from the 100 to the 100. Now you're ranked, even a little bit more of a target on your back?
I think we're definitely, whenever you play a ranked team, I've a lot of times been on the other side of that. At places I've been rebuilding programs, and everyone's up for those ranked, when you play a ranked opponent, from the coaching staff to the player, and that's an easy sell. So, from that standpoint, they're going to be ready to play. I think their back's against the wall a little bit. They had a disappointing loss last week, hard-fought game, back and forth, very emotional, and played a good football team in Illinois State. So it's going to be a good football game on Saturday. We're going to get a good shot from them.
Coach, does being ranked kind of validate? There's tons of football left, but does it kind of validate it for you and the team? Say, hey, people are noticing us. We're on the right track. We're getting there.
I think it's good for us as a university. I think it's good for the fans and the alumni and the media. But I think as players and even as coaches, it can become somewhat of a distraction. I've always emphasized eliminating distractions because really the only ranking that really means anything around here anyways is that one is at the end of the year. That's been the precedent. That's the standard that Coach Truss has set. And it's just the way it is. No, it's a tough one, but that's about the only ranking that really matters.
How do you keep it from being a distraction?
I think you talk about it. You don't leave the big pink elephant sit in a room and not address it. You got to hit it from day one. You got to talk about it. You got to get it out of the way and just move forward. And I think our kids realize that. They're a pretty mature group for a relatively new group of guys. For the most part, being together, mixed, newer players, freshmen and newcomers with the older players, and I like the way we've come together thus far.
When guys buy in the way they have, because it's not just them talking about it, the way they go out and execute and do the things that you guys coach them to do. What's it allow the coaching staff to do, as a group?
Well, I think it enables you to push them, and really, and I think it's a compliment to our staff. It's not just one person around here; it's everybody. And if they allow us to coach them, you know, and you can take being critiqued, you can take being yelled at and push. Let us push you over the edge. You can achieve great things, and so far they've let us do it, you know. And sometimes people at first they meet it with resistance, you know. Well, that's not the way my old coach did it, or that's not this or that. And you know, we just ask them every day, guys, just let us coach you, let us push you, let us take you where you can't take yourself. And that's our job as coaches. We have to take our kids where they can't take themselves. Because if they didn't, I mean, if they could do it themselves, they wouldn't need coaches.
Eric, can you talk about Kirby? I mean, another veteran who's been there for a long time. I think he started all 4 years. Just what type of player he is and what's he bring to Missouri State?
He's a good football player. He takes care of the football. He knows where he's going with it. He's got 2 great running backs there behind him, and he's got a pretty dang good offensive line. You know, their offense is averaging 417 yards a game with 40% on 3rd down. It went for it 2 out of 3 times on 4th down. Had 24 points against Kansas State. Obviously, you guys know I know a lot of people there at Kansas State, and they played with Kansas State pretty well. So they're a good football team. And you know, prior to the season, Coach Allen felt like this was his best team. And you know, for a coach to step out and say that early on, you know, that's obviously he feels pretty good about his team, and deservedly so. He's got a good football team, and they're a good. I mean, they're good.
They've struggled a little bit scoring points in the first quarter. Is that just slow starts, or competition, or a combination of both?
Well, you know, you got to obviously the first game is always the first game, and then you got Kansas State, and sometimes you wonder what your emotions were there at the beginning. Obviously, they came on late there, but and then you know, last week they had a lead and getting ready to do some things. So you know, it went back and forth, but you know, you can tell they're a well-coached team, and obviously Coach Allen's done a good job. I mean, he's got a pretty good resume when you look at it from top to bottom.
Is this one?
The ranking aside, statistically speaking, your team is near the top in the country in lots of different categories without listing all of them. Can you just touch on the formula for the success that you've had? Because it's in all 3 phases of the game.
I mean, I don't know if there's a special formula other than just trying to do things right on a consistent basis. And remaining focused and doing all the little things right, you know. I don't think you have a magic wand and all of a sudden you wave it and this is the way. I just believe in being as genuine as you can with your players about your emotions and feelings. And my staff also feels the same way. And we've built a good relationship thus far, and they've bought in, and we have pretty good schemes. You know, I think we do things creatively on both offense and defensive special teams that hopefully put stress on the opponent, and that's the idea, is to keep stress on them constantly, and hopefully you can make a play here or there and get a win.
Can you talk about the linebacker core you're going to face this week?
Oh, I mean, those guys are constantly coming, you know, and they love tackles for a loss. Very similar to the team we played last week. You know, their scheme is very similar to Southern Illinois in a lot of ways, specifically, you know, the things that they're trying to do. So I see a lot of similarities there. So they kind of, you know, I don't know if they're friends with each other being they're in conference, but I see a lot of similarities in both teams defensively. And then offensively, they do some things to stress you. I see that. So very similar. They try to stress you at all times. They have the ability to run the quarterback. They also have 2 good backs and a good line, but they try to put you in situations where they try to out-gap you or get you misaligned and take advantage of that way.